Weber Searwood versus Camp Chef Woodwind Pro. Battle number 2. We're doing smashed smoked burgers, AKA smacked burgers. We're not using the Camp Chef smoke box, and we're gonna see if that Camp Chef smoke level setting up at level 10 beats out the Weber Searwood smoke boost. See which one's smokier. One of my favorite things of all time, smash burgers. Cheers.
Basement.
All right, we got our 80-20. Actually, it's more than 80-20. It's Harris Teeter Premium ground beef. Very simple prep. We're gonna make some balls here, and then we're just gonna season them up with salt. I'm not gonna press too hard. I do not like my burgers to be overly compacted. I find that they're less juicy that way, a little too dense. But we're gonna do doubles. So each ball is half of a burger. And I'm not too concerned about ounces or any of that kind of stuff. I don't have that kind of patience. If Bob were here, he's sick tonight. Either that or he just didn't want to come, I'm not sure. Maybe he's getting sick of the channel. What do you guys think? Now, in the past, I've seasoned these things up with like a barbecue rub or something like that. But tonight, because we're trying to figure out, are these burgers gonna take on smoke flavor? So we're just gonna go salt. We're good to go. I'm gonna transfer these to a tin, stick it in the fridge to stay cold. Let's go get the Searwood and the Camp Chef fired up. All right, here we are again, Weber Searwood, Camp Chef Woodwind Pro. Let's get this thing done. For the Woodwind, I wanna empty that burn pot. Luckily, it's nice and simple. I really like how they did this. Not much in there, but still we wanna clear it out. Stick this thing back on. That's easy, easy. Another thing I want to point out about the Camp Chef, this plate gets really, really hot when it's up and running. This light that I have, I accidentally had it down like this. So when I closed the lid, it was touching this metal, and look what's left. That plastic completely melted on there, and I had to like physically remove this thing because it was basically glued shut. And look at the light now. That plastic piece is completely gone. Luckily, thanks to ThermoPro, this thing still works amazingly. So who knew ThermoPro also had grill lights? So now that this is cold, I can pull most of it. I might have to come back and scrape the rest off once this thing gets hot, but that's good enough for now. All right, so let's get this thing fired up. And actually, let me pull the smoke box. This is the remnants from our last cook. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that out. We're not using the smoke box today. And then we're gonna go to set smoke, and we're gonna set that all the way up to 10. Confirm startup, and we're off and running. Now over on the Searwood, same thing, hit the button, wait for the little boot up cycle, and we're gonna set this to 180 degrees, smoke boost, and they're fired up. Now, one thing I want to point out about the Camp Chef smoke box while we're here is some people commented, why did we have this open and then later shut it and leave it shut? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to open this, which opens the flue, lets the flame go in, it lights the charcoal and the wood or whatever you have in there, and then once it's lit, you close it back up and the wood and charcoal continues to smolder and produces all the smoke over time. If you leave this open the whole time, that means the firebox flames are hitting that wood and the charcoal and burning it up real quick, defeating the purpose of the smoke box. We're not using it today, but I did want to point that out because there were some questions last week about that in the comments. We'll be back out here once they hit 180 degrees, smoke boost, smoke level 10. We'll put those ground beef balls on there. We'll let them smoke for about 30 or 40 minutes, and then we're gonna smash. See you in a bit. All right, they're both up to temp, 180 degrees. I want to point out something. The Searwood, when you put it in smoke boost, it just says 180. It lies to you, to be honest. Smoke boost is 180. You have it set to 180. It says 180. This one is actually at 187. And some people pointed out in the comments last week that if you set the smoke level really high, that means that the PID controller is going to fluctuate and you won't always get a consistent temperature. I'm actually okay with that because what's gonna happen is it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, but it's gonna average out to around 180 degrees or whatever temperature you set it to. So I'm not super worried about it. So let's go ahead and get these guys on. All right, that's it for that one. It's a lot of smoke pouring out of there, I must say. Now on the searwood, also a lot of smoke. Very nice. Donnie, who do you think is going to win tonight?
I feel like they're going to be even.
Really?
You'll see a little bit of smoke flavor in each.
I suspect you're right. I hope you're wrong. My theory is that the smoke level 10 on this is stronger than the smoke boost on this, which is why even though we had the smoke box going and the smoke tube going in both of these last week, this one was far smokier on those ribs, but we're gonna find out tonight. If you guys haven't done smashed smoked burgers or smacked burgers as we like to call it, you're missing out, I'm telling you, because you get the best of both worlds. You get the smoke flavor on the burgers and you get smash burgers, which are the best. So, all right, we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, we're ready to go. We just tested these. It's been about 40 minutes, and according to the ThermoPro Lightning, we are at just about 100 degrees, a little bit more, 106, but that's okay. So we are going to take these off. So we have to remember that side is gonna be the Camp Chef. This side up front is gonna be the searwood. Here's the thing, we gotta smash these. The Camp Chef does not provide a way to do that. And this one only goes to 450 degrees, the searwood goes up to 600. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this. We're done with the Camp Chef. So luckily we've only been at 180 degrees. Hot hands, no problem. For whatever reason on this searwood, the left side is the hot side. On my old searwood, the right side was the hot side. And I've got the griddle chilling out over here. We're gonna stick that on. And we're gonna set this to manual mode, and we're gonna go level 10. Once this is heated up, we're gonna get going. We'll see you guys in a bit. Searwood's been at level 10 now for a couple minutes. It sounds piping hot. That feels hot. I'm just gonna stick them right on that griddle. You can hear the sizzle. And then the way to do this is to stick a pat of butter right in the middle, right where the hole is. Super good. Get the little pools of butter right in the middle of the onions. It's one of my favorite things, to be honest. All right, couple minutes later, I think we're ready to try this. I'm gonna grab searwood over here, Camp Chef over here, a searwood to the right, and a Camp Chef to the left. So Donnie, don't let me forget. Searwood, searwood, Camp Chef, Camp Chef.
It's very difficult.
Come on now. All right. Which one is this, Donnie?
Searwood.
I'm just testing
Right?
you. That is the searwood. I'm just testing you. Camp Chef, searwood. Oh yeah, Camp Chef. Now we're gonna go ahead and cheese it up, and we're going with the good stuff. Kraft Deli Deluxe American cheese. This is where it's at, people. I feel like these big boys need 2 pieces of cheese. Would you agree? Donnie, test. What's searwood? What's Camp Chef?
Searwood.
Camp Chef, Camp Chef.
Yeah.
You got it right. I'm pretending to test you when really I just want you to tell me what it is because I don't remember. I'm super excited. I'm gonna pull them now. Oh my goodness. Oh my, oh my, oh my. All right, let's take this in and let's figure out which one is smokier. Which one tastes better? All right, searwood. That's a big burger right there. Onions. Camp Chef. Onions.
That's a huge burger.
Huge, huge. Okay, here you go. Now I don't want you to see here because you'll be able to tell which one you're eating.
I smell onions and cheese.
Yeah, correct.
Delicious.
Amazing.
I'm not tasting too much
No smoke?
smoke flavor. Maybe just like a hint.
A hint of smoke, okay. Now turn, don't look.
I'm not looking. Jesus.
All right, here you go.
Maybe a little hint more, but that's it. Just
Okay.
a little. It's so tasty.
They're both amazing.
Very tasty. Now don't look, don't peek.
I'm not looking.
Close your ears.
Okay,
Earmuffs.
I'll do whatever. I really want the Camp Chef to win.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You shouldn't be able to hear me. It's a big.
Oh boy. Oh man, so good.
Right?
It's amazing, whatever it is. It's got that crust where it's a little crispy on the outside, Super juicy and cheesy, fantastic. I'd pay a lot of money for this. This one is a tad smokier. This one is crispier, has a better feel. This one is a tad smokier.
A better mouthfeel.
Yeah, because it's got the crisp and everything. This one doesn't have as much crisp, but it's a little smokier.
So which one did you go for?
The first one.
First one? Okay, so your first one was Camp Chef.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Second one was Searwood.
I picked the Camp Chef for the first time. I didn't pick the Searwood. It's a miracle, hallelujah. You know what you picked? You picked the Searwood.
Oh, nice.
At the end of the day, this is like really hard to tell any of the difference.
I mean, they're exactly the same.
They're basically exactly the same, yeah. There is smoke flavor, but not like intense smoke. As far as smoke boost versus the Camp Chef level 10, very hard to tell the difference, and we're talking minuscule. So bottom line, some of the best burgers I've had in a long time. Hard to tell the difference between the two. I would call this even. I will say again, for all you Searwood fanboys out there like me, we used the Searwood griddle to smash. We couldn't have done that on the Camp Chef, so thank you for the Searwood for being there for that. Thanks for hanging out.
See you next time.
What do you think Bob would have thought of this?
I think Bob would have picked the Rectech. 100%. Didn't even go. He'll pick the Rectech every time.